there's so much to talk about with Senior Government Minister, the Minister for Finance, Senator Matthias Cormann, who joins us from Perth. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Senator, it just seems that the government can't get clear air, particularly on the economic narrative. Yesterday was going to be a very important economic speech for the Prime Minister. We saw it was completely knocked off course by that ridiculous protest in Melbourne. When are you going to be able to set forward the agenda clearly? What can we hope to see? It must be frustrating.
Well, our plan for the economy and implementing our plan for the economy is a marathon, not a sprint, and we are at it every day, and we'll be at it every day between now and the next election. And at the next election, we'll present ourselves to the Australian people based on our track record at that time and with our plans for what hopefully will be our third term. So, I mean, if you look at what we've actually achieved... But we've got to get through this one yet. You haven't even started the term of the new government. I mean, when you say it's a sprint, not a sprint, I mean, no medals yet. Well, if you look at what the progress that we've made, when we came into government in 2013, we inherited a weakening economy, rising unemployment and a budget position that was rapidly deteriorating. Economic growth today is stronger, not yet as strong as we would like it to be, and we face additional global economic headwinds, but we're dealing with it. Employment growth is stronger, and the unemployment rate is well below what had previously been anticipated, and we're working to get the budget back into balance. Now, yes, there is more work to be done, and we took a plan to the last election. We're focused on implementing that plan. I mean, we don't get distracted by things on a day-to-day basis.
Well,
we're focused on implementing our plan, and we're committed to the marathon to put Australia on the strongest possible economic and fiscal foundation for the future.
You say you're not getting distracted and you're going to implement your plan. The problem is that from the commentators to the electorate, nobody can see the plan. I mean, it's been knocked off course by that election result. You're having to deal with the Senate. You've come up with this omnibus bill. We don't even know whether that will get up, whether the crossbenchers will get there. I mean, how can you implement a plan when it's hand-to-hand combat over every minor thing and nobody really knows what the new plan is?
Well, it's not a new plan. It's a plan that we took to the election, and Janine, we won the election. We achieved the support of the Australian people, the confidence of the Australian people for us to implement our plan for another 3 years. Now, you mentioned the omnibus savings bill. This shouldn't be a matter for the crossbenchers at all. I mean, the omnibus savings bill that the Prime Minister put on the table yesterday captures all of the savings commitments that Bill Shorten endorsed during the election campaign. Now, if what Bill Shorten said during the election campaign means anything, the Labor Party should be waiving this omnibus savings bill through the Senate alongside the government, because they represent bipartisan savings. Now, if Bill Shorten is proposing to backflip yet again, what he's showing to the Australian people, what he's demonstrating to the Australian people, is that he's completely untrustworthy and that they can't believe a single word that he said during the campaign.
You talked about going forward to the next election, but today we seem to be fighting not just the last government, we're rewriting the history of the government before that, the Gillard Labor government. You had the Treasurer today, on the day of the jobless figures, making an extraordinary claim that on the Malaysian solution that he didn't support, he was only acting on his leader's instructions. That was Tony Abbott's decision. I mean, this is, apart from any, not just distracting, it's disturbing that you've got a senior member of the government saying, oh, it wasn't me, it was someone else, and you're having these, you're fighting old wars.
Well, I think you're sort of, misinterpreting what was said there. I mean, let me be very clear. The decision that we made at the time was the right decision. Obviously, since we came into government in 2013, when we inherited chaos at our borders, when we inherited, complete dysfunction when it came to preventing boats arriving illegally on our shores, I mean, we fixed that problem.
And you supported the strategy?
Or will we get other...
But then are you surprised that Scott Morrison is saying that, oh, I was just following orders?
Look, I mean, I don't think that Scott Morrison indicated that he disagreed with the strategy. I think he just was reflecting on some other matters. But I mean, anyway, I think you're misinterpreting. But as you're quite right, we shouldn't be dwelling on the past. We should be focusing on the future, and that is certainly what I'm doing. And I just say, there's always a lot of noise in politics, Janine, but I don't get distracted.
No,
the
you
government
don't.
Get distracted.
You stay on message.
We remain focused
you
on
are
the job at hand.
extraordinary. You are probably the only one that can stay on message, because this week we've had another problem, and usually, as you say, the distractions come from the other side. Your own side is causing one over 18C. We had, I interviewed Senator Patterson on Monday, said, look, this is back on the table, we're within a couple of votes. Then last night you had Cory Bernardi saying he was going to push it. You were very strong today. You said, no, I'm sorry, I'm a front bencher, this is the cabinet decision, it's not coming up. Are you concerned, given the strength of feeling among some of the members and the hope it would come up again, that you're going to have a split in the party? I mean, you're saying it will not be considered. That is done and dusted.
No, well, what I pointed out is that we dealt with this issue 2 years ago, and 2 years ago the government made a decision to take this issue off the table. We, clearly in the current global economic context with lower global economic growth, having to deal with the transition in our economy, there are other priorities that we have to deal with right now. We made a decision 2 years ago to take this issue off the table, and the government hasn't made a decision to put it back on the table. So we are focused on implementing the commitments we took to the election. We didn't make a commitment to revisit 18C. We made a commitment to implement our plan for jobs and growth. We made a commitment to implement a whole series of policies designed to put Australia on the strongest possible economic and fiscal foundation for the future. And that's what I'm focused on. That's what the government is focused on.
Would you call on some of your own members to perhaps get on board to do the big issues, argue the big issues like the economy, rather than starting all these bushfires elsewhere?
No, I don't give advice to my colleagues through the media. I mean, all of us, we are elected in our own right. All of us have a job to do. All of us, have a responsibility to fulfill our duties the way we see fit. So I'm not going to start, providing public advice through the media.
Okay. Well, on another issue that is now, here and now, and did come up in the election, the Banking Royal Commission, there's been a proposal, again from your own side this week, to implement a banking tribunal. It was part of a recommendation from a joint committee earlier this year. Scott Morrison said he was open, it was an interesting idea, he didn't rule it out. Where do you stand on the idea of having a tribunal to compensate bank victims?
Well, look, I mean, I think this has still got a way to go. I mean, a royal commission into the banks clearly is the wrong way to go, because all it would do is deliver another lengthy inquiry on top of previous lengthy inquiries, which will not actually give anybody any redress in relation to any grievances that they might have. I mean, you've got to focus on what the policy outcome is that you're seeking to achieve. And the policy outcome in relation to legitimate grievances from banking customers in relation to activities of the banks should be that you facilitate efficient and affordable resolution of any legitimate grievances. And the government does have an open mind on whether that can be done in a better way than is done at present. We remain firmly of the view, and it's firmly our position, that a Banking Royal Commission would be the wrong way to go. I mean, Bill Shorten pursued that particular proposal as a political strategy in the context of an election.
The Banking Royal Commission is the wrong way to go, but you seem to also be leaving the door open to this tribunal idea.
Well, neither Scott Morrison nor I have said that this is the way we should go, but there are processes underway. We're quite comfortable for those processes to keep running their course. But what we say is, I mean, what is important is to be very clear on what it is that we're trying to achieve. And, the policy objective that all of us ought to be focused on, well, how can we most efficiently and in an affordable fashion facilitate resolution of legitimate grievances that customers might have from time to time about the activities of banks. Not all grievances are legitimate, but obviously there are from time to time instances where banks have done the wrong thing, and the important thing is to ensure that these issues can be resolved swiftly, efficiently, and in a way that is affordable for customers that need to pursue such action.
All right, I'll take that as the door's not closed on that then. And just finally, when can we expect to see, given it didn't go so well yesterday, can we expect to see any other major economic statements or speeches that will try and get the economic narrative back to the forefront before Parliament sits?
Well, you can expect that the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, myself, many of my colleagues will every day make the case on why we need to implement our plan for the economy, our plan for jobs and growth, and why we need to continue to work to get the budget back into balance. I mean, I'll be speaking at the Sydney Institute on Monday, so if you want to come along, Janine, feel free.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. And I see jobs and growth are still in there, front and centre.
Very important priority.
Okay, thank you very much for your time tonight, Senator Matthias.
Always
Cormann.
good to talk to you.